Alright, we are at the Palm Springs Comic Con. Don't worry if you haven't heard about it. I don't think most people have. It's inside usually it's inside the Palm Springs Convention Center. This year it's inside the Palm Springs. We don't know about that. We think it is, but this year it's inside the Palm Springs Air Museum. So,
alright, you'll be good.
So, again, it's a little different than you were used to. It's actually divided over 2 rooms, and panels are out in one of the hangars. So we're going to just kind of look around and see what we think. We found our first booth of the day, which is plushies. A lot of them which are Pokemon. You can see some small ones over at the side here. And some, yep. To just kind of get an idea of this. Again, we are inside the Air Museum right now, so this is a lot different than anything we've been at before. So we have found some pops here. I'm actually thinking of picking up this one along with some of the others that we can see here. So it's pretty cool. They have some specialty ones here. And it looks like the prices might be a little discounted. You have Sherman right there, too. Looks like the prices might be discounted opposed to what they would normally be, because some of these are a lot more expensive at other cons. Alright, here we are again on the floor. We just bought a couple pops at the last booth. It is interesting to note that they appear to be way cheaper here than they would be at most places. We picked up the Invader Zim Gur in the dog suit, which for those of you who know, that's pretty valuable. And we picked up the Winter Soldier Target exclusive from way back during Civil War. That is a cool costume. I am just impressed that anybody is willing to wear a costume quite that warm.
And the suit.
Yeah. There is a press penny for the Air Museum down there.
Yeah, I have no change on me.
Oh.
Coin change whatsoever on me.
Alright, we'll take a look real quick here, because they do have some here as we're going back that way. Alright, just kind of getting you guys some shots of the floor. Again, we're pretty much, just so you guys kind of get an idea, we are at the back of this part of the floor already. So it's a very quick floor. And again, one of my favorite comic book issues right there, series. The Dick Grayson Batman, for those of you who don't know. And again, I'm noticing a lot more pops at this one, even just per square inch of the place. Wow. Oh my goodness, yes. And there is Stuart from Big Bang Theory, which I'm totally going to go meet. Alright, I just thought I'd show you guys the museum for those of you who are airplane nuts, because we are on the ground, and the panel is right in the Korea-Vietnam hangar. So, surprisingly, I think we've already seen almost half of the sale floor. So, just in the few minutes we've been here. So let's go check it out. A few more things in the panel floor here. Gamers. Hey! Just kind of getting an idea of what's back here. And then over there you have a panel where they're apparently doing giveaways. So we'll have to go check that out. Here on the panel floor is Quail Man. So I really like that costume. Thank you for sharing that. So here is some Zoom Zoom style artwork. And this is, again, I think we're on the Artist Alley right now. This is the other room of the Air Museum. And there is a very realistic, couple very realistic Ninja Turtle costumes in the process of getting them on. Oh no, what have they done to the turtles? So right there is Lindsay Wagner. So you have Lindsay Wagner over there. You have the Leave It to Beaver cast right there. that you guys can see kind of some of them. Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers, along with a few of the others. So that's pretty cool. I can't get much closer because they charge for stuff. You got Jim Lee back there. Hard to see him at this angle, but I think that's him right there. So that's pretty cool.
The voice of Mickey Mouse himself, Brett Iwin! Hello! Hello, Brett!
Try not to take down the curtain. And now the voice of Mickey Mouse is coming out.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Great. Not too hot.
To be here. Yeah.
It's great to have you guys here. Really, Thank you. Our pleasure. No, it's our pleasure to have you guys here. Really, and clearly, people really wanted you to be here as well. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, guys. Is this your guys' first trip to Palm Springs?
No, I've been here many times, but first time for Comic-Con here in Palm Springs.
Well, welcome for Comic-Con. Oh, 21? Exactly. And we grew up with the same, with you as Goofy and your predecessor as Mickey. How is it knowing that we grew up with something like that? Now you are the voice of Mickey Mouse. What is that like?
I get asked that a lot, actually, and it's a great question because, you know, my story starts with wanting to be an artist, and I wanted to be an artist because I loved Disney cartoons, especially the classics. I learned to draw by drawing Mickey Mouse. My dad and I would watch the classic cartoons and pause them and draw the characters. So I owe a lot of my artistic career and talent, I guess, to Disney. And then, yeah, I've always been a Mickey fan. I've loved Mickey as long as I can remember. And I started learning how to do the voice just for fun. I never really had aspirations to be a voice actor, or never to be the voice of Mickey even. But you know, it just, things kind of fell in my lap in that way. Fate had its way and I ended up here, and so it's extremely surreal. But it's a blast. It's amazing.
8th year we've been working on Kingdom Hearts, so it's one of the longest running franchises, I guess, that we've ever done.
That's amazing. I know, I'm still waiting for this next year for number 3.
People have been waiting a while.
Yeah, I've been waiting. There's only a few year gap between 1 and 2, and it's been like a 15-year gap between 2 and 3, so we're waiting. But this is your first one that's actually the main console game.
It is, yeah.
And are you excited about that?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited, so excited. I mean, the whole Kingdom Hearts world is...
You know, and then I gotta, come on, Sora the Heartless, you know, and I gotta do that and put it in the same length of time that the Japanese words are, so that the lip flaps on the character kind of match. It's a very technical kind of thing. And I also voiced Pluto, and I've voiced Pluto for the last 30 years, and that's really nice because I can do Pluto in any language. It's like Japanese, woo, you know, there you go, German, woo, you know, there you go. So, and I actually had one of the people from Japan was at our session, and he actually gave me a direction. It was like he was trying to get me to do a certain way of barking, and it was like, oh, doishimai gachao, woof, 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 and I'd go, woof, woof, woof. Oh, that's good. It's very strange, very strange.
Getting directions on how to bark.
Professor-like. And so we did 2 seasons of that, and we have that, and we never know from time to time what we're going to be doing next week. I have no idea what's coming up next week. We have now, we're in the middle of a Mickey and the Roadster Racers. We're on season 2 of that. And so just more of the same, more cartoons. I've never been busier.
There's a lot of stuff coming up for Mickey's 90th, but I don't even know specifically what those projects are. I just know stuff's coming.
Oh, they haven't actually recorded anything yet.
I've done some stuff, but you know, there's just a lot of stuff that's still in the pipeline. So that's kind of how our jobs work.
And you were telling me about a game that might be coming up or something. We never know. We never know. Very short into the future. It's not like, next year we're going to be doing it. It's like, what are you doing Tuesday? And they set a time, and we go in and do the bit then.
A lot of people like to imagine we have desks at the Disney studios where we're just sitting there and they're like, Mickey, we need you, Goofy, time to come in. And we're like, okay. No, we're waiting by the phone.
And that's probably one of the big year for movies for me. I did Foghorn Leghorn, Sylvester the Cat, Yosemite Sam. I've done Bugs and Daffy in an episode of Robot Chicken where Bugs is doing a rap-off with Elmer Fudd. So this I had to have Seth Green teach the whitest guy in the world on how to rap, you know, as Bugs Bunny. That was kind of, oh brother, and I is stinking.
Well, if anyone could teach you, it's Seth Green.
Yeah, he did a good job.
What is one of the weirdest things that you guys have ever had someone ask you? Or something?
All the time, all the time. I can't think of any weird thing. I mean, of course,
funny.
people always want the characters to, you know, use foul language or something, which is just, you know, I mean, the characters, so much about, and Bill talks about this a lot because he teaches voice acting, but you know, it's not about just making the sound or making the voice. It's about being the character. And when you become the character and you're voicing the character, you know, these characters wouldn't say things like that. So everyone gets a kick out of asking you, hey, say this, and it's like, no, I wouldn't. But yeah, voicemails all the time. I did Neil Patrick Harris's voicemail one time, Wilmer Valderrama. I get like weird requests where I'm like, that's odd that I'm on their voicemail.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't know them, but they, yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot of voicemails. I guess the weirder things are
Like your Japanese counterparts, your Indian counterparts, your Italian counterparts.
once that happened to me, they called over from DCV and Disney Character Voices, a division of Disney that kind of oversees the characters, and they said, a couple of the other goofies want to go to lunch with you. They were visiting. I went to lunch with the Chinese and the Norwegian goofy. Wow. And that's so bizarre to hear a Norwegian goofy. Oh, golly gee, oh, yo. You know, it's really strange. And so that was a bizarre lunch, but you know.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke. 3 goofies walking into a restaurant for dinner.
I haven't met any other Mickeys. The French Mickey has reached out to me on Facebook before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's written me a couple times, but I haven't met any of them in person, no.
Should do that at D23 next year, just get out all of them. Like, these are all of our Mickeys, ladies and gentlemen, from around the globe.
I'm just always very skeptical, because like you said, so many people come up and do the voice to you, and I'm just like, I don't know, are you real, or are you just saying that? I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
What,
Sharp as a bowling ball. Yeah, it was a lot of fun in the booth, you know. You can't.
oh boy.
Known around the world. That's kind of weird too. That Mickey's known around the world. I think
He's
it's
an
the most
icon.
recognizable icon in the
After
world.
Coca-Cola, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's number 2 after Coca-Cola.
You don't have to dress up to go to the store or anything, but you can turn it on and off at will. So if you want someone to know, you know, if you're trying to get a better restaurant seat or something like that, or can Goofy sit by the window? Sometimes it works.
Or to get out of a speeding ticket.
Oh gosh, I'm really sorry, officer. I'm late for a recording session.
Yeah. What do you expect of Goofy?
I'll never do it again.
I haven't had a chance to try that out.
I have never done it, because I'm pretty sure what I'd get is, here's your ticket, son.
Hey, I'll draw Mickey on it for you.
I feel like they wouldn't believe.
No, they
like
wouldn't.
everybody can do Mickey,
You know what?
but then they hear Goofy, they're like, wait a second. Wait a second,
This is good advice, Jordan.
We have to go with the first here. What do you say? We can give Goofy a ticket? No, he'll let him go. You're good, Goofy. You're good, Goofy. You're good. Do you guys go to the theme parks in Anaheim at all, or even around the world often?
Yeah, not often. I've never been to the one down
Yourself?
Oh yeah.
On like the audio tracks or something.
It's different. I feel a little bit like Mickey's changed a bit for me. Like I'll go to the park and I
If you're going to be a voice actor, get rich parents. That'll come in real handy when you get started because it's a very competitive business. In Los Angeles, there's like 150,000 Screen Actors Guild members. These are people that paid the $3,000 to join the union that want to pursue it that heavily. On any given week, there's about 10 to 15,000 acting jobs. So on any given week, there's like 140,000 out-of-work actors. So it's very competitive. Number 2, take acting lessons because a lot of people think that it's all about the voice and it's really all about the acting. People always say, well, I have a great voice, I should be a voice actor. Well, that's like saying, I got a great guitar, I should be a guitarist. No, you got to learn how to play your instrument and your voice is your instrument. So take acting lessons, and I would recommend any kind of acting like improv or stand-up was great for me because you're in front of a live audience. And in that kind of situation, you find out real fast if something's funny or not funny, and you learn over time on how to say the line so you get the most funny out of it, which comes in real handy because we're just in a booth with a microphone, a music stand, a chair, and a script. And that's all. So we have to say those lines and bring them to life, bring them off the page and give them life and make them funny. You know, if it's a comedy script, and you got to know what words to emphasize, and that only happens by practicing generally in front of an audience.
What about you, Brett? What are your...
I mean, I would just echo everything Bill said, and so much of my process has been learning that. Like I said, I wasn't an aspiring voice actor to begin with, so I've kind of, it's been trial by fire for me, but everything you just said is what I've learned. It's so much more than the voice, it's the acting, it's, you know, and yeah, you are in that room with the microphone, you don't have the ability to use facial expression to convey something like you would on camera. You know, it's just all based on your vocal performance, so. I think, but I would say, you know, because I've pursued creative professions, you know, as an artist and now in voice acting, I think passion is always key for anything you pursue. So if you're passionate about it, you know, you can't kind of do it, you got to do it. You got to commit to it, and I think that really sets you apart. But I think it's also remembering that it's hard work for any of those. For any job or any career you pursue, you just have to be willing to do the work. And I think that usually shows through. People recognize if you're a hard worker and you're good at what you're doing.
So the hangar over here is open, looks like. There's some Comic-Con stuff in it, but a lot of...
What? Puppies? Take your voice off. Okay, we'll just give it back.
So you're talking about people not in the community.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Full Lego City type setup. Star Wars right here.
This is my...
Okay, so this is Kevin Sussman who plays Stuart on Big Bang Theory.
It looks like a bag of candy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bag of makeup and a cell phone, so it's sort of candy,
Yeah,
indirectly.
Candy adjacent.
All right, well, Kevin, how are we doing today? How's that heat treating you?
You know, it's hot. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very
Hi.
All right, so...
How many people here, sorry, to interrupt,
ahead,
but just, how many people here are from Palm Springs?
Yeah! So you guys live in this heat all the time.
That's a good...
So we did get to meet him earlier, but I wasn't able to get it on
like
video.
a scale of hot to hot, what? And then yeah, he just offered me the role of Stuart, not knowing. I feel like I've told this story to most of you guys when you came up to my table earlier, but for those of you that I haven't already told, I think, yeah, so I actually, when I was like a struggling actor, my day job, because no one would hire me as a waiter, I worked at a comic book store in New York. And that was sort of my job where like nothing was so crucial at a comic book store that I couldn't just leave for an hour to go to an audition. That is just a coincidence. Chuck Lorre did not know that I actually worked at a comic book store when he wrote that role for me. I don't even know where I began. What was the question? Am I even answering a question?
Yeah, no,
I'm just rambling. Episode, and I think that he was, wasn't sure how much a part of the show I would be. I think he created it thinking maybe this can be a recurring character. I had actually done an episode of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, that he wrote. It was like a crossover thing because this episode of CSI was about a bunch of comedy writers and the star of the show was killed. And it was basically, I mean, I can't say this officially, but my assumption is that the murder victim in the show represented somebody that Chuck used to write for, and it was like playing out a fantasy. And I'll let you guys try to figure out who that was. What I think their strategy behind having, as the other characters sort of evolve, and the guys wind up in meaningful relationships and successful in their careers and stuff, the writers purposely, as a counterbalance, sort of have Stuart's life be destroyed further and further, just because if the whole show where everybody was doing fine, you would miss that element that the other guys had when they started. So that is by design. In terms of me being the guy who is that sad sack, screw up, who's constantly, you know, going bankrupt, it's great for me because I wind up, you know, getting awesome lines like, you know, my therapist killed himself and blamed me in the note. You know,
quite a hit that one. I was like, oh, damn. All right, poor Stuart.
But I really, you know, I don't watch that much TV, and Big Bang is included in that.
Now, out of my own curiosity, as an actor who is on the show, when you watch the show, do you watch it because you're a fan of the show? Do you watch it for posterity, to like support your friends because it's their show too? Do you watch it sort of for research because you're now going to be doing an episode that like refers to an episode in the past?
The last one there, I should, but I don't. And in terms of supporting my friends, no, they don't need it. I watch just more of like a curiosity, because the episodes that I'm not in, I will watch just to see what's going on there. What is this? And I will say that it's, you know, the series is coming to an end, and it's still very strange for me because I'm only the most I've ever been on the show has been in half the episodes. So there winds up being long stretches, like I might go a month without setting foot on the stage, and I go back into like my life of just being home eating cereal and, you know, like getting lost on Twitter and stuff, and then like I may turn on the TV or whatever. I'm going to a comic convention or something, and it's on the plane, and it's still weird that I'm like on that show, because like so much time passes that I sort of go back into just being like a normal like loser, and then I see, you know, and then it's like, wow, that's crazy, that show. I'm sorry.
It's almost like you sort of forget that you're like even on the show.
Yeah.
Hey YouTubers, so that was a pretty good time that we had at the Palm Springs Comic Con. Definitely one of our the smallest con
we've
ever been to.
Yeah.
Very interesting, a whole different type of culture, and not quite the same atmosphere, and the crowds weren't all that big. Now I will tell you a little tip: if you're looking for good deals on collectibles, for Funko Pops, things like that, the smaller cons seem to have the better prices, so you can't beat them on that. So
yeah, we found two pops that we've been looking for that are fairly highly priced at most conventions, and we got it for $25 and $15, so that's respectively. So that's not a bad deal at all. We'll say we didn't see a lot of graphic novels
I didn't see any. I think I saw a couple people carrying one or two, but I didn't see a booth with them.
I saw a lot of people carrying in Jim Lee stuff to get signed. That line was huge.
Yeah. And we got to meet Stuart from Big Bang Theory, which I hope when I edit, once I'm done editing, I hope there's at least some clips of him in there, because he was cool to meet, but I couldn't actually get video of him pretending to be Stuart for you guys because they wanted to charge for that.
Yeah.
Which I thought would have been funny, but he was more than willing to, but his agent kind of jumped in and stopped that one. So, and then we got to meet the voices of Goofy and Mickey currently, Bill Farmer and Brett.
I'm not gonna get his last name either.
Yeah, I'm gonna like name a football player or something.
That would be Brett Favre. I know that one.
Yep. So yeah, that was pretty cool. All in all though, what do you think? Go back, not go back? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, for what it was pretty good. I don't know if it would be worth going back again.
I don't
in
know
our
if
experience.
I don't know if I'd pay to go see it again, and do not bring a bag into the place.
Yeah, if you come backless, you get in a lot faster.
Yeah, we literally were, I was stuck in a line that wasn't moving in the heat because we had a bag. Now when you go out to lunch and come back, then you can have a bag. The line moves quicker at that point. But if you're coming in the morning at like 10 o'clock, don't come with a bag. Just bring stuff in your pockets. So all in all, this is Rantin' Robin.
And Ditchy Foxcat.
And we're gonna, next time you see my face, it'll be same channel, but a slightly different place, and we'll tell you about it. So we'll talk to you later. This is Rantin' Robin logging out.